Welcome to the December 5th, 2024 regular city council meeting. Tonight we have Jonathan Solt with Calvary Church giving the invocation. Welcome, sir.
Would you guys bow your heads with me as we just start our time in prayer? God, we just lift up your name in this time as we just amidst a busy season, amidst a season of giving and celebration and just time being with family. Ultimately, God, a time that we just get to celebrate your gift that you've given us, the gift of your Son, Jesus Christ. We just ask, God, that you would settle our hearts in this time, as it's so easy to get sidetracked by all these things to do and things to buy and people to meet with and things to pass in this meeting. God, I just ask that you would settle our hearts. You'd give us just the peace to just take it one step at a time. God, would you move in this room and give clarity and discernment of next steps as we just work through hard decisions that affect a lot of people, God. These are not easy things, and yet I'm just thankful for these public servants here in this room that are just so faithful to what they have felt led to serve in. And I just thank you for the people here in this room, God, that also have needs and desires that they're bringing to the city's attention as well, too. I ask that you would just give that wisdom, give that the next steps that would be for everyone's best interest. And God, we just praise you in all things. And we ask that this meeting today would glorify you. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Cindy, will you please do the roll call?
Councilmember Lampy.
Present.
Councilmember Osborne.
Present.
Councilmember Gordon.
Present.
Councilmember Brockert.
Present.
Councilmember Gendrich.
Present.
Councilmember Lewis.
Present.
Councilmember Conard.
Present.
7 present, 0 absent, Your Honor.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next is the approval of the agenda. Does council or administration have any items that you would like to change or pull from the agenda? Hearing none. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis
Second.
and a second by Councilmember Gordon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes with all ayes. Next is communications. Is there anyone present that would like to address an issue that is not on tonight's agenda? All right, next is the consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda, which includes items 10A and B, items 11A and B, item 12A, items 13A through E, and item 14A with bills totaling $2,952,496.61?
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis
Second, Lampy.
and a second by Councilmember Lampy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries with all ayes. All right. And now we are to a public hearing. Public hearing on ordinance 2024-0527, amending Title 1, Chapter 10, City Officers and Employees, and add the positions of an Assistant City Administrator and City Clerk. Now is the time for the public to comment. Hearing none, I'll take a motion to close public hearing.
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis
Second, Gordon.
and a second by Councilmember Gordon. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion carries with all ayes. Next item is 17A, is a vote on ordinance 2024-0527 and the suspension of the requirement for a second and third reading of an ordinance prior to passage pursuant to Iowa Code 380.3, amending Title I, Chapter 10, City Officers and Employees to add the positions of Assistant City Administrator and City Clerk. Is there a motion to waive the second and third reading and adopt this ordinance on first and final reading and to direct for its publication as required by law?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Gordon
Second,
and a
Connor.
second by Councilmember Conard. Is there any discussion with council?
I'd like to say something if no one else does.
Yep. You're good, Councilmember Osborne.
That was okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I fielded a number of questions on this today, and I think we probably need at least one more reading or one more hearing or more public input.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? So just to clarify, the city attorney mentioned if it's a supermajority, 5 out of 7, then we do not need a second and third reading per the city attorney. Any other questions, council? Comments? Councilmember Gendrich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Brockert.
Aye.
Conard.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Osborne.
Nay.
Lampy.
Aye.
First and final reading of this ordinance is approved as submitted with all ayes. Next item is 17B is a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Muscatine and Matthew Martison as City Administrator. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis
Second.
and a second by Councilmember Brockert. Is there any discussion with the public or council?
No, right here.
Hearing none. Councilmember Gendrich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Brockert.
Aye.
Conard.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
And Lampy.
Aye.
Resolution is adopted with all ayes. Next item is C is request to approve change order number 1 related to the demolition of 707 East 7th Street for the amount of $13,702.50. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Gordon.
We have a motion by Councilmember Gordon
Second, Lewis.
and a second by Councilmember Lewis. Council, any discussion?
I just want to say thanks to Jody. This is part of that big overall project, correct? And it's like, thanks for getting it going. Appreciate it.
I guess Jody, could you speak a little bit about, I know these are change orders, but could you speak a little bit about where the funds are coming from or not coming from on all of these? Just to make sure that the council and the public understand where these funds are, the change order funds are coming from.
Mayor, Council, Jody Royal, Goodwin Community Development Director. So the funds for the 3 properties, 601, 613, and 707, are tied to our Ignite Vitality Mulberry project, which is funding from the state. In this case, it's a $100,000 nuisance abatement grant, or forgivable loan is what they called it, and then the match dollars that the city had already committed to doing this type of work in that neighborhood.
So there are no additional expenses to the city because of these change orders?
Correct.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're all clear that there's no additional funds being spent. These are already allocated
Yes.
and/or granted in there.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Councilmember Conard?
Just on some of these change requests, is there a reason why they weren't caught originally in the bid out?
So we had originally been working just with the timeline. We had worked and had an alternate in the bid documents, in the request for proposals, which we received bids, but then we were uncomfortable as staff if that actually did the job of making them development ready. So we accepted the original proposal and had the contract executed at that amount, knowing that we were going to look into what actually needed to happen for the properties to be ready for the developer to move forward.
Thank you, Jody.
You're welcome.
I've got a question.
Yep.
Jody, does April Lindberg have anything to do with this?
April Lindberg is the actual worker on this.
Should
So
she come up and speak to us for a while?
she's actually wants you to move on so that she can get to the wrestling match.
Okay. I saw your little
Thanks for your
gesture
honesty.
back. I wanted to make sure I
Yes,
called
I do want
April out.
to, yes, we should all thank April. She does the yeoman's work on these projects.
Well done.
Yes,
Thanks,
well done.
April. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, oh, all right.
You got it, Jody.
Councilmember Osborne.
I got it.
sorry about that. Jody, could you explain some of the difficulties that contractors may have when bidding these, specifically about, I had some questions around why don't they know that, the costs are gonna be this much as far as landfill and fees and everything, aren't those set things? I think I know the difficulty, but I think we'd like to hear that.
Okay, and again, that is specifically related to the fact that we accepted the base bid, which would be just to put it back as dirt so that it was a safe space, not prepared for any kind of house to go back on there. But we knew that a house was going to be built, so we wanted to make sure that the fill that goes in there is appropriately prepared and adequate for the weight of a house to be placed on top of it.
And I can imagine the difficulties of, they pay by weight and number of trucks and all those kinds of things. I can imagine the difficulties of trying to figure out how much a house weighs, trying to go into a landfill, right?
Well, and in this case, it was less about them doing the math, because that came pretty quick once we actually knew what we were asking them to do. The issue at the beginning of this one was that we weren't really clear on what needed to be done or how much of it needed to be done. So if you look at the change orders, it actually addresses that. So the hole is, let's just say 20 feet from front to back. But the house isn't being built on all of that. So rather than incur the cost of the higher cost fill and compaction, we wanted to make sure we are responsible with the resources. So we're filling it with clean fill, as was part of the original bid. But then there's like 5 or 10 feet of it that has to be the rock or concrete that's then compacted and tested. And honestly, testing is also a significant share of this. It's a minimum of $1,500 for them to come do the compaction testing. So,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is D, is request to approve change order number 1 related to the demolition of 613 East 6th Street for $12,800. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Gordon.
We have a motion by Councilmember Gordon
Second, Lampy.
and a second by Councilmember Lampy. Is there any discussion with council? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is E, is a request to approve change order number 1 related to demolition at 601 East 6th Street in the amount of $3,000. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis
Second, Lampy.
and a second by Councilmember Lampy. Is there any discussion with council? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is F, is a request to approve change order number 1 related to reconstruction of wall at 413 Mulberry Avenue for $6,363.10. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brockert
Second.
and a second by Councilmember Gendrich. Is there any discussion with council? Councilmember Gordon?
Just real quick, on the property, this is the wall adjoining, that's on the side of Flickinger. I just want to make sure they replace the piece of siding that's missing. Because if you look, as you're going down Mulberry, on the wall, there's a piece of siding missing on the new construction, so I just want to make sure that gets taken care of. So, thank you.
If thumbs up, you're good?
Yeah.
They were notified, and they were gonna do it, but that was during like the Thanksgiving week and we
Yeah.
had the wind. So they are aware of it and will be out to fix that piece and then a few others as well.
Okay,
Thank you, April.
perfect. Thanks, April.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is G, is request to approve and accept the annual comprehensive financial report and audit for the year ended June 30th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Gendrich
Second, Lewis.
and a second by Councilmember Lewis. Is there any discussion?
Great job by Nancy and team again.
Great job.
Well done.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is H is request to approve declaration of items as surplus and authorize sale of items at public surplus auction. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis
Second, Lamping.
and a second by Councilmember Lampy. Is there any discussion?
I guess just one question real quick. These auctions have been fairly successful. We've moved most of these goods, or is it a matter of, well, most of these goods still hang around after that auction is there, or how's the process work, I guess, is really my question.
Brian Steinman, Public Works Director. So I would say for the most part, we have a lot of success getting rid of these things. Sometimes they don't sell. We'll keep them around one more go, try to auction them up again. Sometimes the stuff doesn't have much value, so it ends up in Dave's care. But we do try our best to get something out of a lot of these things. So
you have good public interaction with this and public in there?
I believe so. Randy Moeller in the fleet maintenance runs all this. It's done through Public Surplus Auction, which is a website. It's definitely countrywide. We have people come from different states, California, things like that, to bid on these things and take some of our stuff, which is fine. So yeah, I think the response is good. I think overall, if it has value, for the most part, it goes away. If it doesn't, some of the old copy machines, things like that, that just, they're just scrap, right? But we try it at first, and then if we scrap them or recycle them, or, like I said, give them to Dave. So.
Okay, thanks.
Brian, since you're up there, if, let's say some chairs or desks or something like that, do we make an effort to give them to some charity or to somebody so they don't just get taken to?
We don't. What happens if it's city property, the first thing we'll do is Randy puts out an email to all the departments and says, hey, this department has this. Do you need it in your department? And then they can come and scavenge it, if you will, use it there. After that, it goes on the surplus auction because it was probably bought with public funds, so we try to get some of those funds back. For the most part, all those things are sold, so we don't have a whole lot left over that we could donate. I think it would probably be a council action to change that policy. If you want to do that, we could look into that, but at this time, we've just always auctioned those things off to try to get some revenue back out of them. So,
Well, if there's some appetite from the council to try to donate to.
yeah, I mean, that would be up to you guys to
Maybe get that
decide
brought
that.
up sometime, or somebody just, nix it, that's okay with me too. But if there's some things that can be donated somewhere, I think maybe we should do that. But
Yeah, if you wanted to work with Mr. Keys and get staff on creating a new policy, that's up to you guys. I mean, we could look into that for sure.
without, too much trouble. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is a request to approve the issuance of a purchase order for Breedlove Sporting Goods in the amount of $78,584.80 for amenities for the Musco Sports Center. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis
Second.
and a second by Councilmember Gendrich. Is there any discussion with council? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is J, is request to approve issuance of a purchase order for Sportaflex in the amount of $39,727 for 2 outfield baseball, softball fence systems for the Musco Sports Center. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Lamping.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lampy.
Second, Conard.
A second by Councilmember Conard. Is there any discussion? It's pretty exciting that we're getting some stuff to fill that inside soon. This is great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is K, is request to create a full-time transit dispatch position. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis,
Second, Gordon.
a second by Councilmember Gordon. Is there any discussion with council?
I'm just ecstatic that we're trying to retain already onboarded people and giving them an opportunity to work in our facility and be able to allow for some gaps to be filled. So I think it's a great job.
Any other comments? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Councilmember Gendrich, is there anything you'd like to share tonight?
No, thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Councilmember Brockert.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Councilmember Conard.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Councilmember Lewis.
Oh, boy, we got the Jingle Mingle tomorrow, guys, downtown. We got all kinds of stuff going on in Muscatine. Also, just so you know, tomorrow up in Iowa City, we've got the Go Red dinner to raise awareness for heart and cardiovascular disease for women. And so we just got to have all kinds of things going on this week. So, thank you. That's it.
Councilmember Gordon.
Well, just to add on to what Angie said, is lots of things going on in Muscatine. The candy cane hunt down at the Red Brick Building. So if you're down there for Jingle Mingle, wander down the block and come and hunt candy canes for the kids. And then Saturday, the Arts Center has their heartfelt home event at the Arts Center. Sunday is Habitat for Humanity Holiday House Tour.
Yes.
So you get to look into several different homes around the town. So there's something every day this weekend, plus a few football games, Go State. So anyway.
Councilmember Osborne.
Go State, did anyone mention Jingle and Mingle?
Yep.
Angie did, yep.
All right, and there's a bunch of a lot of little parts to make up a great thing. It's great effort by the volunteers in all of these events. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Lampy.
Yeah, looking at the clock, I have about
No.
20, I have about 20 minutes to fill. So let's see, what do I want to talk about? And also as we go through the weekend and starting is Illuminate out at Weed Park. So please do go out and support a great cause there again. And it's a great, use of, a public park and stuff out there and a great fundraiser for that organization. So it's doing very well out there. So please go out and enjoy that. And as Councilman Peggy said, Habitat for Humanity does have the tour of homes this week on Sunday, so come out and view some of the historic homes of Muscatine. One of the great things about Muscatine is we have some great historic homes, and this is your opportunity to tour some of those homes that you've always driven by and said, gee, I wish I could look in there and see what it looks like. Now's your opportunity to go through some of them, so please take advantage of that as well. And that's all.
Cinda.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Chief Keys.
I have two. A shout out to Megan Francis, because that's a lot to put together with Illuminate. So really get out there and support that. I know her passion is it just shines through there pretty bright. Another one is Jody Royal Goodwin. And if you were there yesterday at the community summit and the work that gets put into that and all of the community leaders that were there, that was very impressive, and the city did a great job representing. And so thank you. Job well done.
Great.
And I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move Gordon.